Meanwhile, in New Zealand, they're banning cigarettes, sort of, eventually. Take a look at this. Legislation passed by Parliament on Tuesday means that anyone born after 2008 will never be able to buy cigarettes or tobacco products. So they're banning it for a certain, like in the future, for people of a certain age range. It'll mean the number of people able to buy tobacco will shrink each year, because of the passage of time and the natural state of death. By 2050, 40-year-olds will be too young to buy cigarettes. This notably does not include vape products. I think some campaign checks were cut there. But anyway, the health minister Verrall, who introduced the bill, said it was a step towards a smoke-free future, saying, the doctor says, thousands of people will live longer, healthier lives, and the health system will be $3.2 billion better off from not needing to treat the illnesses caused by smoking. So if you're above that age, you can still buy it, although, as we'll get into, not a lot of people smoke necessarily there. I've never heard this before. Like, imagine if, how like there's some areas that are banning like gas automobiles. Imagine if they banned it for anyone like 18 and up. Or anyone who's not 18 now will never be able to in their future. That is a very weird way to go about it. What do you think?
Hey, you new and inventive ways of doing things. When I first heard it, I'm like, well, seems odd, but it's almost like a slow burn of pushing it out. You mentioned, I think you mentioned cars or driving. With cars with smog systems and stuff, there's certain old cars, at least in California, where there's a cutoff range where they don't have to pass smog tests anymore because of their age. I guess that's opposite, because the older the car, the harder it is, or the less it was created to avoid these smog rules. So similarly, folks that, you eventually phase out smoking without having this huge cutoff. It's like, Nicorette rather than going cold turkey.
I guess. Look, it's a different country. I would be interested to see what people think about this. I will say that for me, I would love for no one to smoke because it seems needless. I apologize. I'm not a smoker. Not cigarettes anyway. But it just seems needless. But that said, and look, I think if you want to make it a little bit more expensive, if you want to make it so that people of a certain age can't buy it, okay, we can have conversations around that. I like choosing to have a generation that just will never be able to make the choice. That seems a little bit weird to me. That said, they're already doing pretty well with some of their reforms. Smoking in New Zealand is already at historic lows. Just 8% of adults smoke daily, according to government statistics released in November. That's down from 9.4% just last year. And the same doctor we referred to earlier added that the legislation could help to close the life expectancy between Maori and non-Maori citizens. The overall smoking rate for Maori citizens is at 19.9%, down from more than 22% last year. So still more than twice as high as the overall rate. And I don't doubt that there will be some health benefits of it and financial benefits as a result of that. It seems weird.
They must be onto something. The numbers are better. They must be doing something right.
I guess we'll see. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.